Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or struggled to recall someone's name, even though you've met them dozens of times? This video is about the best brain exercises that can help prevent dementia, and why doing them regularly might be more powerful than you think. Many people believe that memory loss and cognitive decline are just a natural part of aging. They assume that once you start forgetting things, there's not much you can do. But here's something surprising. The brain can grow new connections even in your 70s and 80s, and research shows that certain mental exercises can actually protect against dementia. It's not about doing crossword puzzles every now and then. It's about the right kind of mental stimulation, done consistently. This isn't just opinion. Leading neurologists and studies from Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and the Alzheimer's Association all point to the same conclusion. Your brain, like a muscle, needs challenge and novelty to stay strong. In this video, you'll learn 5 types of brain exercises that help keep your mind sharp and resilient. Each one is backed by science and can be done from the comfort of your home. We'll also explain why they work, so you're not just doing them blindly, but with real purpose. Let's begin. One of the most powerful brain exercises you can do is to challenge yourself with something new. Not just a variation of something you already know, but something that feels awkward, even difficult at first. This could be learning a new language, taking up an instrument, or even trying to cook a dish from another culture with completely new ingredients. Why is this so powerful? Because unfamiliar tasks activate multiple areas of the brain at once: language, memory, motor skills, spatial reasoning, and more. According to a 2013 study published in Psychological Science, older adults who learned new skills over 3 months, such as digital photography or quilting, showed significantly improved memory compared to those who did only familiar, relaxing activities. Novelty matters. When the brain is forced to adapt, it lays down new neural pathways. This process, called neuroplasticity, is your brain's way of staying youthful. So if something feels slightly frustrating to learn, that's actually a good sign. You're stretching your mental muscles. Walking while counting backward, listening to music while solving a puzzle, talking while cooking a new recipe. These are all examples of dual-task exercises, activities that require your brain to handle more than one stream of information at once. In everyday life, this kind of multitasking is challenging, but when done deliberately, it trains attention, working memory, and executive function. A 2020 study from Japan found that older adults who practiced dual-task walking, combining physical movement with mental challenges, had better cognitive scores after 6 months than those who only walked without thinking tasks. The reason is simple. Your brain has to coordinate different systems at once. It keeps you present, focused, and more mentally agile. Try playing memory games while walking, or listening to a podcast and then writing a short summary afterward. The goal isn't perfection, it's stimulation. You've probably heard about apps like Lumosity or games like Sudoku. And while these can be helpful, it's important to know what they actually train. Sudoku strengthens pattern recognition and logic. Word searches improve visual scanning. Matching games can enhance short-term memory. But not all brain games are equal. The key is variety and difficulty. According to a 2017 review in The Lancet Neurology, cognitive training is most effective when it pushes people just beyond their comfort zone, not when it feels easy or automatic. That's why switching between different types of games is important. Try rotating strategy games like chess, spatial puzzles like jigsaw puzzles, math-based games like Kakuro, language games like crosswords or anagrams. And don't be afraid to raise the difficulty. Just like lifting heavier weights makes your muscles stronger, tougher mental tasks make your brain more resilient. Here's a simple one. Read a short article or passage, then, without looking, try to write down or say as much as you remember within 2 minutes. Timed recall exercises challenge your brain's encoding and retrieval processes, and these are exactly the processes that weaken early in dementia. Research from the Journal of the International Neuropsychological Society shows that repeated retrieval, actively trying to remember information, strengthens long-term memory more than simply rereading. In other words, testing yourself is more effective than reviewing. You can do this with news articles, movie plots, conversations, or even lists of groceries. Give yourself just enough pressure to engage your focus, and over time your recall will improve. This might surprise you. One of the most effective brain exercises isn't done alone, it's done in conversation. When you explain something you've learned to another person, your brain consolidates the information differently. You're not just remembering it, you're organizing it, verbalizing it, and adapting it to your listener. This process engages multiple parts of the brain at once: memory, language, social awareness, and emotional regulation. A study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that older adults who participated in structured social discussions had significantly better memory outcomes than those who did solitary reading or puzzles. Social learning also boosts mood and reduces isolation, both important factors in brain health. Try teaching a grandchild how to bake, or explaining a historical event to a friend. Even debating the ending of a film can activate deep parts of your cognition. The key is interaction, not just input. It's no secret that physical exercise is good for your health, but did you know it's also one of the most effective ways to keep your brain sharp? Aerobic exercise like walking briskly or cycling increases blood flow to the brain. This improves oxygen delivery, reduces inflammation, and helps clear waste products, all crucial for brain health. But there's something even more powerful: combining movement with awareness. Mindful movement, such as Tai Chi, yoga, or even slow dancing, activates areas of the brain involved in attention, balance, and body awareness. A 2018 study from the University of South Florida found that older adults who practiced Tai Chi showed better memory, attention, and mood than those who did only walking. So whether it's stretching, dancing, or gardening, let your movement be intentional. Breathe deeply, focus on the moment. The body and brain work best when they move together. Music is more than entertainment. It's actually a powerful form of brain training. Listening to music, especially music that brings back strong memories, lights up areas of the brain involved in emotion, long-term memory, and even motor coordination. But, actively engaging with music brings even more benefits. That means singing along, tapping your foot, or maybe learning the lyrics to a song from decades ago. According to research published in Brain, music activates more parts of the brain than almost any other human activity. This includes the auditory cortex, motor regions, language centers, and areas linked to emotion. And here's the beautiful part. Even in later stages of dementia, the ability to remember songs often remains. So make music part of your daily routine. Play a familiar album while cooking, sing with your grandchildren, or join a local choir, which also adds the benefit of social interaction. Spending time outdoors does more than relax you. It actually sharpens your mind, especially when you use your senses with intention. This practice, often called nature immersion or forest bathing, is widely used in Japan and South Korea as a form of mental therapy. A 2019 study in Scientific Reports found that spending at least 2 hours a week in nature was associated with higher cognitive function, better mood, and reduced stress levels in older adults. Why? Because being in nature reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that interferes with memory and learning. And when you walk through a park or garden, using your eyes, ears, nose, and touch, your brain is fully engaged in the present moment. Try this simple exercise. While walking outdoors, name 5 things you see, then 4 things you hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you're grateful for. It may sound simple, but this sensory grounding strengthens attention, emotional regulation, and mental clarity. In our effort to stay sharp, we often forget the power of stillness. Rest is not laziness. It's an active state of recovery for the brain. During quiet rest, especially after learning or doing something mentally challenging, your brain consolidates memories and strengthens new connections. One study from the University of Edinburgh showed that older adults who incorporated short periods of rest after learning retained more information than those who went straight into another task. Meditation, deep breathing, and even just sitting quietly with your eyes closed can give your brain the space it needs to process. Try setting aside 5 minutes after a mental task, like reading or solving a puzzle, to simply breathe and rest. Let your mind settle. This is when real memory consolidation happens. And remember, deep sleep is the most powerful rest of all. Sleep clears out toxins and strengthens the neural pathways that hold long-term memories, so guard your rest like it's medicine, because it is. All of these brain exercises are powerful, but only if they become part of your lifestyle. So here's a simple, balanced weekly routine you can follow. Monday, learn something new. A word in another language, a new recipe, or a new fact. Tuesday, do a dual task walk, like walking while counting backward or listening to an audiobook. Wednesday, play a brain game, something that challenges logic or memory. Thursday, engage socially. Call a friend and explain something you've learned this week. Friday, move mindfully. Try a 20-minute yoga session or a Tai Chi video. Saturday, listen to music and sing along to your favorite songs from your youth. Sunday, take a walk in nature and use your senses intentionally. End each day with at least 5 minutes of quiet rest or breathing. Let your brain digest and recover. This routine doesn't need to be strict. You can swap days or shorten activities to fit your schedule. What matters is consistency. Just like watering a plant regularly helps it grow, small daily efforts keep your brain nourished and alive. Dementia is not inevitable. While we can't control every risk factor, we can give our brains the best possible environment to thrive. With the right kind of challenge, stimulation, and rest, the brain can stay resilient, even decades into life. So take these exercises not as chores, but as invitations to learn, to laugh, to connect, and most of all, to live with your mind fully awake. Thank you for watching Silver Memory. If you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone you care about. Let's keep our minds sharp, together.